Stop. I really don't want to go through this, alright? I mean, who thought it was a good idea to make an M&Ms game? Now, a racing game I can understand, but this is a platform game. I mean, does this even look good? This game was released in the year 2002 in Europe by Joe Wood Entertainment. They'd also made the Gothic, Painkiller and Sam & Max series, so surely a platform game wouldn't hurt their reputation, right? Well, it didn't do them much good, I'll give you that. I mean, just look at this, it's a mess. Do I even need to review this? Cripes, I'd have an easier time talking about Doritos' Dash of Destruction. The first thing I need to point out to you is that people had to pay for this. Yes indeed, this game was priced at the full retail price of £40. You thought Battleship on release for 60 quid was bad? Well, you just wait until you play this thing. The first levels have you driving around and the only control you have is by going left or right. There's no way to brake or zoom ahead, but instead suffer at the same speed for 3 zones. As you drive along you have to break open the crates of minis and reach the end of the stage. There's just one minor thing that I should mention though, and that's that you don't need to get the minis. They're not compulsory in the slightest. Getting to the end is what matters, so the worst part about this is, why? The story goes along the lines of Yellow putting the M&M minis in charge of the factory he works at, and it's up to him and Red to stop them. In the cutscenes they're seen as menacing creatures, but in game they're trapped in these crates. Anyway, during the driving stages you have to get past poorly animated drivers and drunken bikers. Honestly, you would have thought enemies as unconvincing as this would have stayed in the Back to the Future game on NES. You'll be relieved to know that there's only 3 zones to a level, 3 levels to a lobby if you will. After that we move on to the next level, which is all about platforming. Now, I don't expect a great deal from this, but wait, what the hell is this? You can't be serious. We've got a yellow M&M, an anthropomorphic one at that I might add, spin attacking crates and robots. I never thought I'd see that. I know what we're all thinking here, that this is a Crash Bandicoot rip-off, and you're right, it is. I mean, at least it's ripping off a good game though. However, they've really taken the biscuit with the different crates including TNT and Nitro, minis replacing Wumpa, and even the checkpoint animation. At this point you either give up or continue, and I only went on for curiosity. However, the objective is still the same, reach the end of the level and collect those damn minis. The minis count towards extra lives but don't do anything else throughout the game. Collect 100 minis and you get an extra life, which is simple in platforming, but the problem is they come in such high quantities that you'll end up with too many lives. Ever play New Super Mario Bros. 2? Never mind. However, because of this you will die so many times due to carelessness. The lives are expendable, so you have as many tries as you can take. I find this quite a clever ploy. You have a load of lives to carry on going, but the game annoys you so much. Do you want to lose all those lives and quit, or stay and suffer? Oh yeah, and another thing, you can't touch anything. Everything you step on is a death trap. Did you touch the chocolate? Then you die. Did you touch the robot? Then you die. Did you touch the floor? Then you die. It's ridiculous to think that half of the hazards in this game require trial and error to find. It doesn't take long before you reach the first boss, who just happens to be Tiny Tiger. I mean, some undescribable green ball with red eyes and spikes on its head. This boss is wank, as all you do is lead him under dripping globs of chocolate. This apparently damages him and within a few hits he's dead. Then you move on to the next stage. Throughout the game the stages will differ, allowing for some minor variation. For example, the first levels are driving stages, whereas the rest may change camera angle. While that's all fine and dandy, the fact still remains that all of the levels look very similar. Not the design per se, but the colour scheme. The PlayStation 1 could load a palette of 16 million colours, and yet Shellshocked only uses the colours of the rainbow. My favourite levels are the side scrolls because the control is acceptable, whereas vertical stages moving around was bad and the jump felt so heavy. Here you don't have to worry about diagonal movement so much, which was a bitch in previous levels. To summarise the control, I have to say it's bad all around. The movement on most of the levels is terrible, and right from the start of the game you know you'll have a tough time controlling it. Using either the D-pad or the analog stick doesn't matter because they both suck as hard as each other. I shouldn't criticise too harshly though, because even though the control is bad, there are worse examples. Take Bubsy 3D or Jersey Devil. They had decent budgets and still couldn't make control responsive or fluent, and this game was only used to promote a product. The graphics aren't even passable, not for a game of 2002. If this were 1997 and the game were a free roaming adventure title, then maybe I'd say it were okay, but this is a platform with tightly packed rooms and linear levels. It doesn't look presentable in the slightest. I mean, every level is based in a factory and the rooms are so narrow. Enemy designs, hazards and levels are so low key for its time. I wouldn't be surprised if you thought I was reusing the same level footage to fill out this review, but no, everything looks the same. What I'm showing you is most of the game. The soundtrack for me is a mixed bag because the songs are good but the sound effects are terrible. Let's firstly talk about the songs. They're great, but not fitting. A lot of the music doesn't match the levels it goes to, however at least they did put an effort into making it. But the sound effects are dire. The one sound you'll get irritated by from the very start is the mini screams. Listen to it for yourself. Yeah, don't you just love that melody? That, my dearest viewer, is the sound of bliss. Despite everything I've said about this game, it's not actually all that bad. The controls, soundtrack, visuals and gameplay may be less than average, but it works. It's like the B-movie clone we've been waiting for on the PS1, and I'm glad it was based around one of my favourite snacks. So until the next time, I'm the Greasy Gamer, your #1 source for #2 games, and I'll be seeing you guys on Halloween. Ta-ta for now.